ERPLY Books is ERPLY point of sale accounting module, and also ERPLY inventory and ERPLY point of sale are according modules for ERPLY Books. But in order for them to work together, we have to integrate them. We have to integrate them because ERPLY Books can interpret invoices differently than a POS system. It depends on how you would like to see the invoices, transactions, and what you would like to synchronize into accounting. So we will look all of this right now. You can see I have a blank organization here. I'll go to settings, take ERPLY POS and inventory settings, do the integration. I add my username, password, and client code, and take other options. I'll briefly describe what the other options here. By default, we will synchronize waybills. It can be called laybys in your country. By default, we don't synchronize purchase waybills. We will only synchronize purchase invoices, which also contain the inventory transactions. If you want 100% the inventory transactions to be in ERPLY Books, I would also synchronize purchase waybills, although it doesn't, maybe you even don't have them. Now, what are the other options here? Sync locations automatically. By default, if you have many locations, then there are different warehouses in your ERPLY account, and you would like to see them as separate cost and revenue centers in ERPLY Books. Then you would like to synchronize them. You can also first time synchronize them here, sync warehouses as projects. But this means that whenever you have a new location, then during the synchronization process, it is synchronizing the location into ERPLY Books. Now the next thing, sync suppliers automatically. If there is a new supplier in your back office, then ERPLY Books will synchronize it once it has a document connected to this. But it will not by default update the contact information in ERPLY Books because, for example, the contact information might be different for the salesperson and for the accountant. That's why by default we don't update it. But yes, if you would like it to update it in ERPLY Books, then click it. The same for customers. Users as projects are similar to locations. It's just that then we will interpret all users into separate projects. In your POS system, you could also use custom projects if you want to see them in ERPLY Books also, then synchronize them also. Now, product groups. Product groups are needed for if you would like to see your revenues and expenses. Well, at this time, cost of goods sold, not other expenses. In separate accounts according to which product group this product is, then you would have to use this option. Then whenever ERPLY Books does the synchronization, it also looks through all the product groups for all of the products that you have, and this way it can know when you are synchronizing an invoice and it has two product groups inside this invoice in these products, then it knows which accounts to use. In ERPLY account, you have two types of products. One is simple products, and the other one is non-stock items. And non-stock items are like transportation, some kind of other services that you do, and you would maybe like to see them separately in ERPLY Books. Then yes, synchronize them also. You can once synchronize them here when you can synchronize services here. If you are selecting the non-stock items, then also select that you would like to get the non-stock item revenue mapping. This is just optimizer for us. We by default don't set it up because it takes much more time to synchronize it when we get all the invoice rows also. If you would like to update the currency rates in your POS accounts, then check this one. And now the simple questions. Do you want to see the inventory write-offs in ERPLY books? If yes, click it. The same for registrations and same for transfers. Now the last question is for when you do the bank import. Well, I cannot show this at the moment, I have to save it before. When you do a bank import, then by default when you select a file, then you can right click on it and then you can see an option for connecting the payment with the prepayment invoice or order. But with this setting it would connect them automatically if it can. But let's leave that there. Now I've saved everything here. It created two articles. You can see them here, and you can see also them incomes and purchase and sales articles. All of the product sales will be connected with this article. The account here, cost of goods sold account and sales account, this is coming from account mapping, which you can see in separate video. The service here is only used when you don't select any product in ERPLY, you are just writing what you did. Then ERPLY books don't know which article to use and it just connects it with this service article. Now, what should you do here? If you don't have hundreds of thousands of customers in your POS account, which you don't want to see in ERPLY books, just synchronize customers suppliers. I will do that because I have less than 200 and it takes less time to synchronize for the first time then. I'll also synchronize the purchase and sales articles, which is the non-stock items as I mentioned before. I'll also synchronize warehouses as projects. I don't want to synchronize users as projects. And this synchronize accounts receivable and this check undefined payments. This is needed when you already have established ERPLY account which you have used for a year or two or longer. Then maybe you don't want to synchronize all the history from your POS account into ERPLY books. If you have correct receivable information in ERPLY, then you can synchronize accounts receivable, for example. Okay, there is one thing I haven't mentioned here, which is this customer to connect all sales. For example, if you don't want to see any customer names in ERPLY books, then you can select the customer here. Then all of the sales will go to that customer. Now, when I click Sync Payment Accounts, which was the third button here, then here I can see all the different types that I have in ERPLY that I can connect with the accounts. For example, first you can see are the payment types. The payment type means that sales guys can add a payment and select this type. The type name is here. I hope it's okay that it's not in English at the moment. Here you can select account from the chart of accounts, meaning that you're selecting account that is you're connecting a corresponding payment type with account in chart of accounts. What does it mean is that for example this tip, when someone pays you tip, then you can select account here, which for example can be some kind of revenue account or something like that. Then whenever you're synchronizing a payment that has a type as tip into ERPLY books, then it is connected to the account that you select here. The same for if you have, for example, 10 bank accounts, add all of them to the POS side and then connect it with the accounts here. The same for if you want to have some kind of rounding expense as a as a payment type and so on. Then there are other types here. You can see there are these product groups, and this is what I mentioned before. You have product group sales account, discount account. Discount account is needed if you want to see a discount amount as a negative amount separately in your transactions list. You also have cost of goods sold account and inventory account, and also cash revenue account. I guess the sales and cost of goods sold are the most important. If there is a sale for makeup and you would like to see makeup sales in a separate revenue account, then select this account here. Select account here. The same for cost of goods sold. And if you scroll down here, then on the bottom you can see also write-off types, and you can also assign accounts for the customer groups. But all this in a separate video, where we are looking into account mapping. Now I've done the first integration. It mentioned me before that I should refresh the page, so let's do it. And now I will do the first synchronization. The first one I have to do manually. Now I'll click synchronize. Now this date here, this you should change if you don't want to get everything from 1st of January. Couple of tips: if you don't want to get anything from last year, then go to configuration and just lock it, meaning that at 1st of January. Then nothing will be synchronized before 1st of January. Now if I synchronize, then what does it mean? ERPLY Books takes all the sales invoices, purchase invoices, inventory registrations, inventory write-offs, inventory transfers, and also payments, and synchronizes all of them to ERPLY Books. The accounts that it adds are those that you add in account mapping. As mentioned before, we will see this in a separate video. All of the customers will come to ERPLY Books if you don't select the by default customer. All the suppliers will come to ERPLY Books if you haven't said that do not synchronize purchase invoices. All the inventory registrations, write-offs, and transfers will create a simple transaction, and all the invoices will be separate in ERPLY Books. We can aggregate invoices into one, but for this, contact us and we will do the setting. For example, as I said, we should have now some sales invoices here. So let's take open receivables. I can see I have some invoices synchronized. The same for purchases. I have lots of purchase invoices here. And I also said we synchronize inventory registrations, write-offs, and so on. So let's go to transactions. Add the type as manual journals. And you can see it also synchronized the inventory write-offs and registrations. I don't have any transfers in this demo account at the moment. Now we can add, the ERPLY Books team can say that this account will synchronize automatically every night, meaning that you don't have to synchronize manually. And we can add different rules for the synchronization. We can make it async, meaning that it is synchronizing all the time to get your data here with an interval of 1 minute. We can synchronize once an hour, but we by default say that once a day is enough. If it's not enough for you, you would have to contact us. Now, I've covered most of the details. I hope it was valuable, and thank you for watching.